Firm construction collapses. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because, well, a West Australian builder has collapsed. The construction apocalypse is ongoing. So WA company Firm Construction goes into administration. There you go. Let's jump over and have a look at their website to get a feel for the scale of their company. Let's look at their current projects. I mean, there you go. Multi-res, high-end res, TAFE. That's all educational projects. So decent size projects that they have on the go. Not like the spec builders we've been seeing going under left, right, and center. That's a little concerning. I mean, they're a big player, obviously. They're doing some big projects. Let's look at some of the education stuff. I mean, there you go. You know, $18 million, $8 million, $16.5 million. This is not good. So, West Australian business Firm Construction has fallen into administration in yet another blow for the embattled construction industry. It is a construction apocalypse, everyone. Now, I want to remind everyone, the government intervention, the government came to the rescue. Due to the lockdowns, well, they had to juice up the market. We had a cash rate insanely low. Well, we're approaching 3% again now. We're going back to more realistic levels, but still. You had home builder juicing up the housing sector. You had home buy grants. In WA, it was 88 grand in discounts and grants. It's got even higher now. Now we've got shared equity. You had 5 and 2% deposit house buying. Okay, 2% was all you needed. The government would guarantee the rest of your deposit. Then we've got negative gearing, which is just part of our culture now. That's never going to change. And the super withdrawals. And I don't blame people for taking advantage of their super. Probably frustrating, struggling to save, years and years to save, when they could have been in a house a decade earlier, perhaps. That's an interesting one. So, back to this. With all that in mind, you've got to understand this sector has been overheated and juiced up by the government. Director Marco Gorman said the business had been doing everything it could, but failed to pull through the financial challenges of 2022. The industry is facing... Oh, and I almost forgot my favorite thing. They allowed people to trade while insolvent a couple of years ago. So you don't know how that's flowed through. The industry is facing major problems from a steep rise in costs to labour and material shortages that have slashed profits on existing fixed-priced contracts. We have been closely engaged with the Department of Finance in the past few weeks to ensure our approach is aligned in terms with how best to deliver on our public sector projects, and we hope that process will continue while we are taking steps to restructure the company. So hopefully they'll get out of this. So they're just under administration. We'll have to see. I mean, they're doing government work, but they could go either way. You just hope the people working for these guys, the subbies underneath them, working on the type of projects. You know, the brickies, the sparkies, the labourers that take on a lot of risk too. You hope they don't get screwed over. Because that's what usually happens, isn't it? They lose out. It's unfortunate that 5 projects awarded by the state government between July 1 and May 22 did not qualify for any financial relief for their significant cost escalations they incurred. Now that's surprising. At least back in the day, government contracts would have allowed for these type of escalations. Mr. O'Gorman said administrators will attempt to restructure the business, which was turning out nearly $100 million per year annually just 2 years ago. Paying our staff and subcontractors while continuing to deliver the projects we've committed to has been our focus on priority. So they're not a small player. $100 million a year is decent money for a builder. Those are some big, significant size projects that will have an impact. That's sad. We have ensured most of our subcontractors are protected by the use of project bank accounts on both our public and private sector projects. Okay, good. Finally. Oh, I mean, this is one of the reasons why you want to chase this type of work. You prefer working with schools and government as opposed to, developers and other players in the field. Firm Construction has been operating for 20 years, has an $80 million portfolio of properties mid-construction across Perth. It was stripped of the contract to build a school earlier this week over fears it would not be ready for the 2023 school year, for which subcontractors are reported to be owed hundreds of thousands of dollars. It has completed projects worth $500 million for the WA government since 2010. We've had, the last two education jobs we've worked on, I think it was a Christmas Eve job, one of them. I was out on site on Christmas Eve doing a point cloud scan to get the existing conditions so we could design it. The Reserve Bank of Australia has warned more insolvencies are likely in the residential construction industry as builders struggle with rising costs. Well, I'll bring up this chart again, because what happened was right here back in the beginning, when they allowed, when they kept zombie companies alive, we saw a big fall in companies entering external administration. You can see here at the beginning of the chart, it was trending down because, they changed the rules. Now, if you're not in business, you don't know how much of a danger it is doing work for someone who's insolvent. You can do all this work, send him an invoice, and never get paid. You can take him to court, you can win, never get paid. You have to push to make him go bankrupt, and it's a pain and an expense. It sometimes isn't worth it. Some large firms have already entered into insolvency over the past year, including ProBuild, Condev Construction, Pivotal Homes, Waterford Homes, New Sensation Homes, Privium, Home Innovation Builders, and Pindon Group. Overall, construction company insolvencies have increased sharply, exceeding their pre-pandemic levels and accounting for close to 30% of all company insolvencies, the RBA said in its twice-yearly financial stability review. I mean, all of you have been watching this channel for some time. I mean, I've got a playlist called Construction Apocalypse, so it's not surprising. And we knew this was coming. We could see it. When it went down, they overheated the market. We knew this was coming. Now, I hope the people who, everyone's going to be screwed over by this. More recently, the increase in interest rates has begun to raise debt servicing costs for many firms, adding to financial pressures. The RBA warned further increases in insolvencies were likely. While the direct implications for the financial system are limited because banks have very small exposure to builders, there is a potential for financial stress to spread to other businesses within the broader construction industry and to some households, the RBA said. Well, you have to remember, our government uses the construction sector to stimulate the economy. That was the whole point of Home Builder. It wasn't to address social housing. It wasn't to, buy an extension for anyone. It was just to keep money flowing through the economy. That's the point. They use it because it's very effective. And, if we start to see damage in that sector, it ripples through. Same thing. It can be just as effective as, getting more bang for your buck from government tax breaks or handouts as it can contracting. It can be just as bad. Builders usually offer housing contracts at a fixed price with plenty of lead time, but since the start of last year, the cost of materials has gone up more than 20%. As such, profit margins for existing fixed price contracts have compressed substantially, and builders are now making losses on some contracts, the RBA noted. Ongoing delays as a result of supply chain disruptions, inclement weather, and illness-related workers' absences have resulted in further increases in costs and have delayed when payment milestones are reached. According to industry contacts in the bank's liaison program, construction delays for detached homes are currently around 12 weeks on average and much longer than this in some instances. So let's have a talk about this. Now, I've got another video I'm going to record after this one for another builder that's gone bust. So it's like a weekly thing. We've had a couple of weeks off now. We've got to bank a few of them up where builders are just getting in trouble. This is not a surprise to anyone. The only advice I can give is if you're going through a tough financial time and you're a small business owner and it all just is going to shit, don't do anything stupid. You can rebuild. Focus on what you control. Take it one day at a time. That's all I can really say. It's part of life, guys. Got to deal with it. And hopefully, generations moving forward will shift our political class away from such an interventionist strategy. But maybe I'm just being real naive there. You tell me what you think, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Check out my HeiseBim and HeiseSays international channels for other topics I discuss. If you're a fan and want to support us, you can financially on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays. Now I better go see what my wife wants. I might go and have some lunch. Take care, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.